Hi, my lovely people, and welcome yet again to another series of interviews and podcasts I have made with very special people to bring you a quality and rich content that will support you on your journey of becoming a great, confident speaker in a foreign language. Enjoy! Hello, Renata. Hi, good morning.
Good morning, Katja.
Good morning. So we did talk about just a few minutes ago about traveling because today we will talk about your travels, right? And the interesting thing that you told me was that you are not a hardcore traveler. Can you maybe describe yourself first and then we'll go into details about yourself, about the traveling part?
Yes, I said that because I travel for my pleasure, and on my travels, I meet a lot of people who are
Hmm.
actually traveling full time. So I
Hmm.
thought I named them hardcore travelers.
Yes,
So
yes, yes.
I do envy them a bit because,
Hmm.
it's good if you can travel full time if you like it. But
Hmm.
yes, I do like to travel. I travel usually for a few weeks
Hmm.
in one time. So that's my type of traveling.
And okay, so they are hardcore travelers. So what are you then? What does that make you? How would you describe yourself in maybe one or two words?
I would say it like pleasure traveler. Yeah.
Sweet, pleasure traveling. That's great. So traveling and pleasure together, I think a lot
Yeah.
of people like that a lot. Yeah, yeah. So like I said, we will talk about traveling, about your travels, because what really was interesting when we met was this, let's say, your view of the world and cultures and how you even started traveling, because you started traveling very early, and we will go into that. But can you tell us a little bit about yourself first? So, where do you come from? I mean, where do you live and what do you do?
Um, I come from eastern part of Slovenia, but I live now most of my life in Ljubljana, where I also work. I work in corporate communications as a freelance today.
Mm-hmm. Sweet, very, very sweet. Nice, nice, nice. And how do you like Ljubljana? Because you moved from eastern part of Slovenia, where probably smaller towns, let's say.
Yeah, Ljubljana is, I would say, very nice town to live in, or very nice city to live in.
Mm-hmm.
For my measures, it's big enough. It's not too big, which I like. It's manageable. The people are nice. It's clean. The weather is good. And I'm here in Ljubljana now for, I don't know, more than 20 years. And the city grew
Mm-hmm.
up with me. So it developed a
Mm-hmm.
lot. It's changed since I moved to Ljubljana, and I
Mm-hmm.
like it for now. Yeah, it's
Mm-hmm.
very nice.
Interesting that you say it developed because I remember Ljubljana also like 20, 25 years ago when I was also studying there or visiting Ljubljana occasionally. But what I found now is that there are more tourists, right? In Ljubljana, do you
Oh
also have
yes.
this feeling that it's
Oh
becoming more
yes.
international? Yeah.
It's becoming very international even before the
Mm-hmm.
pandemic. It was a
Mm-hmm.
really high number of tourists visiting Ljubljana, and the
Mm-hmm.
numbers are getting back to
Mm-hmm.
that. And for us who live here, it's nice to have people coming and appreciating your town, but
Mm-hmm.
we stopped going to the city center because it's full of tourists. Yeah, and of course, on one side, it has its benefits, but on the other side, it's also affecting the prices in restaurants, in bars. It's affecting the prices of flats or rents. So
Mm-hmm.
it's
Mm-hmm.
both ways.
Mm-hmm.
It should be a nice balance between tourists and people who live in town. So
Yeah, you're probably right, and it's true. It's true. Do you have a special place in Ljubljana, like your favorite place?
not special place, but I do have places where I like to be or just meet friends or sit down or enjoy nature. I like that we have a Ljubljanica river running through Ljubljana, and on the banks of the river there are really, really nice spots just to relax or have a drink or catch up with friends.
Ah, that's nice. So would you say that Ljubljana has a lot of these open spaces, like where people can meet and like it's very also green? I remember it was one of the greenest European capitals, you know, at one
Yes.
point it was declared like that.
Yes, yes. There are a lot of spots outside where you can sit, or even a bit further out from the city center, you can find great places in the parks just to have a nice cool down afternoon on a blanket with some food and wine.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Would you say that there is, or let's say when you moved to Ljubljana, did you find anything different maybe in, let's say, I don't know, how people are, how they communicate towards where you were? Maybe there was any difference that you saw and it was maybe a pleasant surprise, a positive surprise that you found in Ljubljana?
Can't remember really, but I didn't have any bad experience.
Mm-hmm.
People whom I met, which I met, were really nice and
Mm-hmm.
welcoming. But as you know, Ljubljana is like a melting pot of all the
Yes.
people who come here to study and then stay here. Yes, we met, or I met a lot of people who were actually also who also moved to Ljubljana, and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
some of them are even today my best friends.
That's nice. So you would say diversity definitely is one of the Ljubljana's, let's say, traits. Now, talking about different cities and moving, so you already moved, right? So you live in another city that you did when you were growing up and so on. But you also started, like I mentioned in the beginning, you also started traveling very, very young. So what happened? So when did you start? And can you tell us a little bit about this journey and adventure in a way? So when did you start?
Okay. I started early. I'm kid from the 70s, so I grew up
Mhm.
in the 70s and 80s, and there were no social media back then, but we had some newspapers, like German newspapers for young and adults, where they had a section for pen pals. So you can share your information, send in your information, and write about few notes about yourself, and also say to whom would you like to write. And then they exchanged the addresses, and you started writing to people. I
Mhm.
use this for learning foreign language. My first foreign language was German. So
Mhm.
I was also reading German newspapers or magazines for getting the words, learning the words. And my first pen pal was from Germany. This was a
Mhm.
girl from north of the Germany, and I think I started writing to her in my primary school. And when I was 15 years old, she invited me to come and visit her for a week. So I tried to persuade my parents to let me go,
Mhm.
as you don't remember, but there was the phone calls were very expensive if you called abroad. There was no social media. We couldn't check if the people were the right people on the other side,
Exactly. We had
and
to trust. Yeah,
we had to trust.
we
First, my
had to
parents
trust.
had to trust me, and then also the trust that they will send me somewhere to north of Germany, going
Mhm.
there alone and speak and
Wow.
just be there with people they don't know,
Mhm.
and they didn't know if they will send me back.
So let's just revise a little bit because let's go back to the beginning. So just to make sure that that the viewers and the listeners will understand, because it's so different. It was back then to communicate with people, right? Than it is
Yeah.
today. So basically, you found this lady or this girl at that time in a magazine, right?
This was
Where,
actually not in the this was like today it would be an app, but at that time it
yeah,
was like a company who
uh-huh.
was working on exchanging
In a company,
addresses, and like I think it was called like penpal or something. And
uh-huh,
yeah, it was advertised. Yeah, it was advertised in those magazines, and there were
uh-huh.
also stories about that. So this is how I
Right.
get to know that. And
Wow,
then you apply there and send in your information.
awesome. Still
Yeah.
the
So
whole
today this
process.
would be much easier. It would be probably an app. So
Yeah, exactly.
But
Today would probably an app, yes, but
yeah,
back then it was, but like literally you went and you saw the address, is this correct? And you just decided to write to this girl? Was that how you did it?
no, the actually the company which was exchanging the addresses was
Hmm.
trying to match the people. Like I would, if I
Interesting.
said I was, I don't know, 13 years old, I would like to write somebody my age in German. I like to do this and this. And they tried to, they were like a matchmakers. They tried to match my
Ah,
request with other people who also sent in information about themselves.
wow.
So
Interesting.
people who wanted to write or exchange letters, we wrote in,
Mhm.
and then they matched us together and send us the
Mhm.
addresses. And then
Wow,
it's up to you if you send the letter, if you see if it's working or not. But it was nice. It took a long time, of course, write a letter in foreign
of
language
course.
with no Google Translate or DeepL.
No
So
chat GPT, Deepo, yeah.
no,
Nothing. By hand,
nothing.
not a computer, by hand.
Yes, we
Yeah,
wrote letters. We sent
yeah,
letters.
yeah, we
It took
did
like a week to travel to receive the letter. So
to
yeah,
receive. Yeah.
it was fun, and everything
Mhm.
moved with more slowly paced, I would say.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. And was more personal maybe because we had every,
definitely personal,
yeah.
and yeah.
I was
So
so, I mean, just to think that like how long was this ago? Like 30 plus years maybe or less?
yeah, that was the end of 80s, like 89
Uh-huh.
or something like this. Yeah,
Uh-huh. So around 30 plus years.
yeah,
But if we can imagine then there was a company who did this, right? Like you say, exchange addresses. Today, like you say, it's an app, right? But
yeah.
there is less trust. It's so interesting, right? And really we had to trust. So you were 15, if I remember correct. Did you
Yeah.
say the age? Yeah. You were 15 and you went alone on a plane to the north
Yeah,
of Germany, right? Do you know to which city you went? Do you remember?
I think it was Osnabrück.
Uh-huh.
It's close to Hanover, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we know how many kilometer this is? Is like probably more than
It's like I don't know,
thousand, even more, probably
2000 probably.
2000.
It's
Yeah.
it's on the north shore of Germany.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Um, I flew. It was my first trip alone. It was my
Mhm.
first trip on a plane. So everything was so exciting. Just, getting to the
Amazing.
airport, all the proceedings at the airport, how you go to the plane. And what I
Mhm.
remember that actually on the plane, I was sitting with also a girl. She was also traveling alone. And it's
Wow.
like just meeting her, talking to her. I think she was visiting grandparents in Germany or something like this. I can't
Hmm.
remember. Yeah, it
Nice.
was really nice.
And did you get
Nice
any?
experience.
Uh-huh. Did you get any special treatment from the flight attendant? Did they watch over
No,
you?
I can't remember that. Probably
Uh-huh.
not,
No.
since you're,
Mhm.
I think, over 14.
Uh-huh. Over
Or
14.
that at that time, there was no
Mhm.
problem.
What was your feeling when you stepped out of the airplane and you went because Hanover or the place around, where did you land in Hanover? Uh-huh. And was, I mean, it's a bigger place than probably Ljubljana. It's even foreign, right? You don't know how did you find these people?
They were waiting for me at the airport, so
Mhm.
they had a sign. So because we
Ah, okay.
exchanged photos with the girl I was
Ah, I
visiting,
see. So they
but
know how you looked. Okay. Today it will be the
yeah,
phone.
yeah. So they knew how I look, and they were her mom and they were waiting for me. So
Hmm.
everything was okay. We traveled to their city where they lived. So it was really really nice. And the
Hmm.
best part was that I get to go to school with her. So I also had
Wow.
experience how the school works in
Awesome.
Germany and how it was
Awesome.
different than the school where I went in Prekmurje. Yes.
Can you describe a little bit differences or what stayed in your memory?
I think I spent only a day or a few days with her at school because it was during the week. I remember talking to the teachers that they were impressed on my German language, how well I
Uh-huh.
speak it. And we were also, I was with them in English class, and I was surprised that the teacher spoke English in such a bad accent.
Wow, interesting to
German
know.
German accent. So I said, this is not good. Well, the difference was that even today, Germany has all the movies and series in German
Adopt, yeah.
language
Yeah,
dubbed.
in German
Yeah.
language, yeah,
So they
yeah,
don't
true,
get to hear the language that
true.
often. If they don't, especially in those days, even if they went to the
Mm,
movies, it was dubbed in German.
true,
So
true.
for us was good
Mhm.
because I was watching all the time Austrian television
Exactly.
growing up, and it was great
Me
to
too.
just to learn the language. Yeah,
True, true,
but for
true. Yeah,
them, yeah, well,
it was a
that's
little bit
one thing that stuck in my mind. But yeah, it was
very
difficult.
interesting.
Yeah.
So let's say that you wanted, so the wish was you wanted to learn some language, then it went into let's communicate, right? It's such a lovely journey, from this and to that, and a lovely experience. Now moving on into your more adult years, yeah.
Mm.
Or let's say, how do you travel now? And let's start maybe with your next traveling that you did. So you went to Hanover, so this was to Germany. What was then the next trip that you took or journey that you took?
Oh my God, I don't remember that. I don't know which one was it, but I remember that every summer I went to work for a few weeks just to earn money and then spend it on traveling.
Hmm.
I traveled, the first big journey was probably then when I was studying. In the beginning of my studies, I went to visit my cousin in Australia.
Hmm.
So that was the next one I organized by myself,
Hmm.
get the tickets, organize everything, communicate with them. So, um,
What would you say, Renata? So you started as early as 15, or let's say you had this wish to go. What would you say is the motivation that you want? So is it like you just want to see different cities, different cultures, different countries, or what is your motivation, or where is this desire comes from for traveling?
desire comes from learning about new countries, about meeting
Hmm.
people, about learning about new cultures. You know how they say if we speak in a foreign language, we are different person as we speak in
True.
our mother tongue.
Very true. Hmm.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It's on one side, it offers me more freedom or just to be an explorer and try out new things. I have to say, I'm foodie, so a big part of my travels is trying the foods in the places I travel to. So this is also part of getting to know the culture, how they cook or what they like, or
Hmm.
so different things. I think this is the main push I get from traveling around.
And did you have any, so let's say, did any of these travels surprise you, like in a positive way or maybe in a bad way? Like you expected it's going to be okay, or do you have any expectations at all when you go to a country, or you just say, okay, I will just be open to any experience I get?
Yes, I'm always open to all the experiences I get, but I have to say that, of course, when I decide to go somewhere, I look it up. I try to read a bit about it. Where do I
Hmm.
go? How it looks there?
Hmm.
Just the basic things so you are not totally surprised when you arrive at the location,
Hmm.
but also just to try to keep an open mind. And luckily, I never had any really bad experience on my travels, so knocking on wood. Yes, surprise, definitely in different ways. In most positive way was probably my travel to India. India
Hmm.
was never on my radar for traveling
Hmm.
because I always thought that I couldn't handle the emotions when I would see all the people on the streets.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
So I like the Indian culture and everything, but never wanted to travel there. And then when I was staying a month in Medellin in Colombia, I met a girl from India,
Hmm.
and she invited me to her wedding to India.
Wow,
Yeah.
amazing.
So I said, of course, if I'm invited, I will go. I
Awesome.
didn't I didn't know that much about India. I know that there are a lot of states in India, but I traveled to Kerala, which is south west part of India,
Mm.
and I was really surprised that there were no people like beggars on the street. In my
Wow.
2.5 weeks there, I haven't seen one. So
Mhm.
yeah, it was really surprising. I loved it. Well, it was trash was all around as I imagined it would be, but
Mhm.
the country was amazing. The people were great, really.
I'll ask you about the Indian wedding, of course, because when I heard about Indian wedding, that's interesting.
Yeah, just to say, it wasn't a Hindu wedding. It was a Christian wedding. So it was not a typical Indian wedding,
Uh-huh.
but because she was marrying an Irish guy, they prepared
Mhm.
a day of all the local culture. So we had our experience of theater, of food, of
Sweet.
clothing. We were wearing saris, and that was really nice
Nice,
experience.
nice. You got everything there in India, like saris, everything. Did they
Yeah,
prepare everything,
yeah,
or did you
yeah.
have to?
No,
Nice.
we arranged that they bought for us some basic saris, so we didn't
Uh-huh.
spend a huge amount of money on the gowns we were wearing.
I
Of
see.
course, the silky saris are amazing, but you don't
Hmm.
spend that much money on it because probably I won't have an opportunity to wear it again.
Of course, of course. Um, but what about the wedding itself? Is it different than Slovenian wedding? Let's say like classic Slovenian wedding. Does it last longer or is it shorter?
It was more, the wedding reminded me a lot of like normal Western wedding. It was a mixture of Irish and
Hmm.
Indian, and it lasted for 3 days. So we had different
Wow,
events planned for those 3 days. And on the last day, it was the wedding in the afternoon and then dinner. Yeah. As I
I
said, the
see.
second day, it was like Indian experience, and
Mhm.
it was really
Nice.
nice. Nice. Yeah.
Were there a lot of people?
I don't know, well, probably like 60, 70 people.
Wow.
A lot of people came from, also from Ireland, as the groom was Irish, and her friends who were Indian also live all around the world. So they were
Ah,
coming in
yeah.
from different parts of the world.
Nice.
So it was really a melting pot of different cultures, and also they tried to include both cultures in the wedding. So we had some Irish
Mm.
music, we had some Indian Bollywood dancing, everything. So
Wow. Nice, nice. Sounds really, really great. Great. Like the whole world coming together for this lovely event. That's
so
nice.
this is actually the point why I travel, to get these
Mhm.
experiences, to meet people.
Mhm.
Um, I'm still in
Mhm.
contact with her. She's my great friend. So she
Sweet.
actually visited me this year in Ljubljana because she lives in
Wow.
Dublin now, and it was amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's quicker and more easier
Yes.
to
Yeah.
plan everything. Nice. Oh, that's great. But going back to your, because you said you travel because of that and meeting other people and things like that. A lot of times, people say even if they travel a lot, sometimes they have troubles contacting or finding people, like maybe even chatting with them or chatting them up and so on. Have you ever experienced anything like that? Or how do you, I will not say plan, it probably comes spontaneously, but how do you meet these people? Do you go to special places where people are? And do you meet, let's say, also local people or only other travelers? What is your experience?
Well, my experience is that mostly I meet other travelers because we
Mhm.
connect very quickly, especially if I travel alone. I usually, every city I go, I try to take a few free walking tours around the city. So just for a
Mhm.
first impression, and then I go back and research whatever I like.
Mhm.
And on those walking tours, you meet a lot of people. I usually meet some people there. So, and I end up spending a few days discovering the city with them together. So,
Mhm.
or you just go to the, I don't know, to the bar and see people working on computers and just chat up quickly.
And have you ever had like a bad experience, like people saying like they were, I will not say rude, but like they didn't want to chat with you or speak to
No,
you?
no,
No?
not really. No, no.
Oh, that's nice.
For now, it's not. But what I would do more, or I want to do more,
Mhm.
is to meet local people. That's hard because
Mhm.
you meet people who are in contact with tourists, which is great. You can also speak to them if you're in the country that they don't speak, I don't know, the language you speak or English. But yeah, it's hard, to just to get to know the local people.
Mhm.
That's why I
Mhm.
also like to go somewhere where I know somebody, so it's local,
Uh-huh. That's a
and
good one. That a
you
good
get
idea.
you get different experience as a tourist, and you get different experience as you travel and or visit some local people living in that place.
Do you travel alone now more, or do you travel with somebody together? So what is your now, let's say, way of traveling?
Well, these days I travel mostly alone,
Hmm.
but I usually traveled always with my friend because it's nice to share experience
Yeah.
on your road. Of course, it's also cheaper if you're more traveling together
Yeah.
because you can share the cost.
True.
But mm, when I stopped a few years ago, I stopped working in corporate world, so
Hmm.
and started working as freelance. That also meant that I had more free time, or I can change the locations.
Hmm.
And I found a group of people or different organizations who are organizing traveling for digital nomads.
Hmm.
And a couple of times I went and spent a month
Wow.
in different countries with them, which is a good combination of traveling alone. And on the other side, you still have some group of people there you can spend time with, you can go on short trips with, and also you meet local people with that. So this is really
Nice.
a good combination. Yeah.
That's nice combination. It's like a mobile co-working unit, yeah?
Yes. Something
Like
like, yeah.
like you have
So
all the people in the same place but somewhere else. Very interesting. Um, Now we talked about the positive, so like the positive or like something that surprised you in positive way. Have you ever had an experience that something surprised you in a more less positive way? Like you went to a country and you said, okay, everything is great, but then it's a negative surprise. Have you ever had this experience?
it wasn't, I wouldn't say negative surprise, but I remember on the first night when I came to Cuba.
Mm-hmm.
This was back in the days where when still Fidel Castro was leading the country
Mm-hmm.
in his end days. But anyhow, I traveled there with my partner, and I organized everything. We arrived in Havana, and like I booked a nice hotel to spend the night. And when I saw the hotel and the room we were staying was like,
Yeah,
no way I will last 3 weeks in this country. This is
really,
horrible.
really.
Well, because it was so much different than what we are used to.
Hmm. In what
And
way, Renata? In what way? Was it dirty? Was it old? Was
no,
it?
no, not dirty, but it's like there was no glass in the windows because they don't need it. I didn't know that. So
Wow,
everything was open.
really
It's like
interesting.
also it's just, it's maybe not the same standard level as we are used to, but
Hmm.
that's the point of traveling, to
Of
see
course,
how other people live and
of
try
course,
to
of
connect.
course.
And it took me just a day, just to calm down the my uneasiness with that and just
Hmm.
to open
Hmm.
up to it. And it was at the end of 3 weeks, it was an unbelievable, amazing
Yeah,
experience there. Yeah.
awesome. But did you stay in that place or did you move? Did you stay?
No. We traveled all around Cuba.
Ah, you traveled. Uh-huh.
And the best part was that we always stayed, they called homestays. So
Uh-huh.
people are renting out the rooms in their homes, and we
Oh,
stayed in those rooms. Yeah. Okay. And also, of course, there's a totally different structure for tourists in Cuba as for the people who live there, for locals. So there's like two. two ways. There are also different money for tourists
I
than for
heard
local
that.
people. In
I
that
heard
time,
that.
I didn't catch up now how it is in Cuba today, but at
Mhm.
that time it was, yeah, we used different money. It was like
Exactly.
convertible pesos, and they had normal pesos, which, yeah, and also there were special shops for tourists and special and
I
shops
heard,
for,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, I heard that.
So
I think also in the
it,
recent days it's the same. I'm not sure, I'm not going to say or confirm, but I heard about this difference between the
yeah,
tourist world versus the
yeah.
homeland. Yeah,
But it's all in one. It was great experience. Yeah.
nice. I remember when we met and we spoke and we chatted, you mentioned one event, if I may say so, that also was interesting. Was it in, I think it was in the South America, yes. Do you remember the one with the dentist? Yeah. Do you remember? You told me about it.
Yes, of course.
Can you
Everything
tell
happens
also the
when you
viewers
travel.
what was that? Because the how you described the whole scene, it was like, okay, I was
Yeah,
uneasy a little bit.
yeah. Okay. I was traveling with my friend in Uruguay,
Mm-hmm.
which is beautiful country,
Mm-hmm.
very nice, and I had some tooth troubles on the way, not in the Montevideo, which is capital, and you can find dentists probably anywhere. But we were in a small town somewhere north, and I really had a problem. And then the people in the place we stayed helped us to get in touch. I didn't know that it, for me, it looked like what I found out at the end was they have like a call center for all the dentists or emergencies, and you just call there
Mm-hmm.
and say, okay, I have this and this trouble. Okay, this was really hard because I don't speak Spanish that
Mm-hmm.
much, or I do
Mm-hmm.
understand a bit but cannot
Mm-hmm.
speak it very well, and I had to explain what's the trouble. And he said, okay, I will look. And then they have like a log of all the dentists in the town, and they will see who is available and send you there. So
Mm-hmm.
it was express timeline to get from calling to the dentist. And the surprise was that when I got there, it was like a
Practice, like a
private
private
practice.
practice.
Yes, thank you. And sorry, dentist, she was working there. I was like, okay, let me see. And I stepped into this practice. It was like stepping back like 40 years ago. It was like amazing, this still works and how
Interesting.
they work. And she was
All the
very good,
equipment
but
was like from a, yeah,
the stool, all the machinery she has for, oh my god,
really
this
looked
is like
old,
in an
yeah.
antique store. But nevertheless, she fixed my problem, so that was it. I was very grateful for her help, and it
Did you?
wasn't that cheap,
It
I
wasn't.
would
I
say.
wanted to ask
Yeah,
you
yeah,
about the
yeah.
money. Yeah.
No, it was probably the same price I would pay in Slovenia, but
Oh wow. Okay.
just
Okay.
the system they have, how they work, it was amazing. Like
Mm.
very organized. Something we could have
Mm.
here in Slovenia also,
Oh
probably.
no, interesting. But
Yeah,
did you catch if this was? Do they have also a public health system?
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
They do. Uh huh. Uh
Yeah.
huh. Mm-hmm.
But as a
Mm-hmm.
foreigner, I did have my insurance and
Of
everything,
course.
but when you have to take, you just want to do it
Of
right
course.
away. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Of course.
I
Especially
would
with the.
probably, I could probably ask that amount of money back from my insurance, but yeah.
So Renata, you gave me a number, right? 45. So 45 countries you already
It's
traveled,
around
yes?
45 countries. Yes,
Which
in
is
some
amazing.
countries I traveled extensively. In some countries I just visited capital and a few cities or towns around it. So it's different.
Mm.
Depends on of traveling. For some countries I visited for work.
Do you like returning to home still?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, it is one of the best things of
Yes.
traveling is coming home.
Uh-huh.
It's like my one when I return home, and what I'm excited about is to tell people about my travels, about
Hmm.
the new culture, the new country, what I've seen, what I experienced. So
Right. Sharing the memories, yeah. Hmm.
yes, and I always before I always prepared like a slideshow and showed everything and told the story
Awesome.
to my parents, to my cousins, to my friends, and it was like always having a nice evening away. They were
Mm-hmm.
traveling with me through my photos and my stories, and I always usually prepared some meals from cuisine from the
Bec-
country I was traveling
oh
in.
wow.
Yeah, usually by cooking books. The
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
try to
Awesome.
do
Awesome.
some dishes,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, and today when I travel for a longer time, like now, if I go abroad, usually stay for a month.
Mm-hmm.
I just write a blog for my parents to follow me and my sister,
Mm-hmm.
so they don't have to wait for a
Oh,
whole
that's so
month to go,
sweet.
yeah, to come
So
home. And
they are updated all the
yeah,
time.
but on the other side, it's also something that stays for me. Like I usually go back and read
Mm-hmm.
what I've done. It's like a diary. I always wrote a diary on my travels just to keep
Mm-hmm.
up where I was and which places I visited. Writing a blog is even more. Um, more personal because I write about my experiences, my feelings, share
Mm-hmm.
photos and videos. So
Is this a public blog? Can people also go, like viewers and listeners can also visit your blog?
Uh, yes, it's public. It's not closed, but it was not written in the manner to, you know. But
To publish.
anybody who wants, it can check it out. So
I see. Is there a place you would visit again? Do you have like a recurring traveling? Like you have, okay, I want to visit this country more and more, or you always choose a different destination?
I always like to travel to new places. But I
Mm-hmm.
do travel to some places back where I have people to visit. In Australia, I was there, I think, 3 times, but always in different part of the continent, Australia, and but at the end visiting my cousin in Melbourne. So yeah, there's some places I go back, especially if that's a big country and you see just one part at one time, and then there's another thing you would like to explore or another location in that country you
Mm-hmm.
would like to explore more. I definitely am going back to New Zealand because I didn't spend enough time there to
Huh?
get to know the culture, and I also have a friend there living there, so yeah, I'm definitely going back there. But
Sweet. And yes.
no, I just wanted to say that's different. Like I traveled to Norway a few times,
Hmm.
once just to stay in, for a long weekend in Oslo and explore the city.
Mm-hmm.
Next time, in my student days, we traveled with rail in Norway and Sweden, which was also amazing. So different types of traveling, different locations you visit.
Mm-hmm. True.
But it's for myself. It's interesting to travel to new location to learn
Mm-hmm.
something new to,
Mm-hmm.
experience different culture.
Is there any, because probably the procedure for entering different countries is different, right? I mean, traveling around Europe is not maybe so difficult, or to
Yeah.
certain countries around the world. Is there any, or was there any a difficult process to actually get maybe a visa, a tourist visa, and so on for any
Mm,
countries?
but no, not really. Today it's very easy to get visas. Everything is done online. Just, I would say we are lucky with our passport because we actually don't need a lot of visas traveling around.
Mm-hmm.
A friend of mine, she's South African, and that's
Mm-hmm.
really horrible because they need a visa for each country they travel to,
Mm-hmm.
and they need to also have everything booked in advance and show the papers when applying for visa. So this is really, really hard to travel, but just the different experience, when you travel to different countries, like entering India. I also applied for visa, and we arrived, waited in line for the customs to go through, and also to the police to check out the visas. And it
Mm-hmm.
was, for me, it was so funny because they had like regular police, like booths the police was in, but in front of the booth you had, oh my god, I lost the word, the big chair with, you have a in a living room, how do you say that?
The picture.
No, the big chair,
A
the
big
seat.
chair, like an armchair, you mean? Like an
Yeah.
armchair?
It was like a cushioned armchair in front of the booth, and you
Sweet.
sat in that armchair, and they were asking you some questions. You
Really
got your stamp, and you're off to go. Yeah, that's maybe that's
interesting.
only in that airport, but anyway, it was really nice and interesting experience.
Very, very interesting. Awesome,
Yeah.
awesome. To think, you know, like these two concepts together, really interesting.
Yeah, it's
Absolutely.
because you're probably, when you are traveling and you get visa and you're like, okay, will I go in or not? Will they let me?
Exactly.
And you are all, worked up, and then you go and you just sit in an armchair and relax. Yeah, that's a nice controversy to relax travelers.
True, true, true. It's like be comfortable and,
Of course.
travel with pleasure and comfortable and
Yeah.
be comfortable.
It also shows the picture of the country you are entering in, the first
Absolutely.
experience you have when you enter.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's true. Renata, is there any country you would never visit? Like you've never been to, but you would never visit?
No, not really. But as I said, I travel for pleasure. So I choose countries
Right.
which are safe to travel, especially for, I don't know, women. So yeah, no, I would go anywhere if it's safe. So,
Mhm.
and some areas are better to travel organized, maybe in smaller groups, but
Mhm.
mostly you can travel the world alone also.
Is there any preference you have? Like you said, okay, I'm going to travel first, I don't know, to Asian countries and then to
Uh,
America. And
no, no, not
do
that
you have a
much of.
bucket list?
Not really, but just go along how my mind develops, or
I
where I
see.
meet
I
people,
see.
or somebody. When you're
Uh-huh.
traveling, I speak to a lot
Uh-huh.
of people, and they said, "Oh, I was there, it was amazing," and I just put it on my list. Okay, I'll check this out and try to do that. But I primarily like to travel to places which are more, how would you say this, with indigenous people, so you can
Mm-hmm.
still have the experience of primal
Mm-hmm.
culture there. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel drawn to that. So this is maybe one of the
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
the things that's it's deciding where I travel to.
When you talk about primal, like culture or primal, I would say concept maybe, do you think that traveling also teaches you a lot about yourself as a person? I mean, through traveling, you probably also, I would say, you kind of get in touch with yourself more and more, with your authentic self, with your indigenous self. Would you
Definitely.
say that
Yeah.
too?
Yeah, definitely.
Would you say that no matter no matter where you are, that people would basically be the same, like how we view the world, and do you think, or is there any difference in people, or would you say that people are in essence the same?
I would say, in essence, that people are the same, that people are
Hmm.
positive, that people are open,
Hmm.
but you have to approach them open mindedly. We are
Of
not the
course,
same as
of
me and
course,
you are not the same. So even
absolutely,
if the culture is different, it's not the same.
it's not the same.
Just when you travel, be aware of that you are traveling in a different country, that you are traveling in different culture, and you are the one who is entering their territory, so you have to adapt to their regulations.
Absolutely.
It's the same as we expect people who are coming to our country.
Mm, mm,
So yeah, you have to respect the culture you are traveling to or
mhm,
exploring. And I love to learn about the differences, but on the other hand, I also have to be aware of that. If
mhm,
some things are not common in that country, or how to behave, or what to wear, or so, yeah,
mm,
just travel open minded, and it also
mhm,
changes how you see yourself, how you see the world,
mhm,
if you let, of course, that
mhm.
information to influence you.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I
So
also
the
travel through the books I read. I travel through the people I meet, even here in Ljubljana.
Hmm.
When I meet people from abroad, I travel in my mind with them, sharing,
Exactly.
having a conversation, sharing information.
Mhm.
It broadens the look on the world. Yeah.
Absolutely. This diversity, right? It doesn't
Yeah.
matter where it comes from. Like maybe it's just
Yeah.
you like more food, like different food. It's also
Yeah.
diversity. Also is traveling, and like you say, yeah, definitely we can travel in different ways. Absolutely. So, what would be your last, or let's say, like a thought that you would like to share with my viewers and listeners at the end of our podcast? Because we're moving to the end of the podcast. So, what would you
Um,
advise them or say to them about traveling, about how you see the world?
I would just invite them to travel, no matter the way you travel, organized or in private organizations or on yourself or with friends. Go experience, have fun, but please don't be the annoying tourist. So
Right.
be aware of the culture you are coming.
Mm,
Leave the bad picture of your country visiting another country.
exactly.
So,
Because once you enter another country, you represent everybody,
of
right?
course,
All of
yeah,
us.
yeah.
True, true, very, very true. Thank you, Renata, for this lovely chat on this Friday morning. I hope that you'll have a lot of fun on your future travelers, yes, and we might meet again and you share some other experience with us again, yeah. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Katja, for having me.
Yes, you're absolutely welcome. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye bye.